It is the 13th day of April 2020. Hoping you're having a blessed Easter holiday, today being an Easter Monday. And of course, today being an Easter Monday, we have a different kind of Easter altogether, thanks to the coronavirus. As a country and as the globe, where are we? Well, allow me to break down some of the figures that we will be dealing with in this bulletin and having a look at the coronavirus case that we've had around the globe. We have 1,876,422 and rising, and currently, since it was reported in December to today, we have 116,109 deaths. But some good news, though, we're also having 435,545 cases of people who have recovered, and Kenya actually is adding up to 22 people who are already cured of the virus. The active cases as we stand are 1,324,768 currently infected patients, with closed cases clocking the 551,654 cases as today. If we look at the world, well, actually, it's a big shock here because as we speak, the United States of America are now leading with the number of cases, with Spain following closely, Italy, France, Germany, UK, and China, where the cases were first reported, actually has been able to pick up some pace in regards to people who have already closed some of the quarantine areas, and of course a lot of cases that have been reported of people who have been cured of the virus. Well, that will be some of the issues that we'll be looking at, but more specifically, we will be looking at how the coronavirus has affected us as Kenyans, what are the sound, the sights, and even the figures themselves. Well, let me not dilute it. Let us have a look at the highlights.
That in the last 24 hours, we have tested 674 samples. Out of these samples, 11 have tested positive for coronavirus disease.
11 more people test positive for the coronavirus, increasing the total number of infected people to 208. Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union say 1,000 more health workers needed to deal with the current health crisis in the country. And the National Multi-Agency Command Center on COVID-19 Committee inspects movement cessation compliance at various roadblocks.
My co-anchor will be Lucy Moura on the bottom right of your screen. My name is Ben Troy Njue, at Ben Troy Njue at KBC Channel 1. The hashtag, as always, is NewsHour. How was your Easter? You can even just tell me where you're watching Channel 1 from. Remember, we are live from the broadcasting house here in the county of Nairobi, and we are also live on www.kbc.co.ke. Our health reporter Purity Museo begins our live coverage where 11 more people have tested positive for the coronavirus in the last 24 hours, bringing the total number to 208 in Kenya since the first case was announced exactly a month ago. Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe, who gave an update of the pandemic on Monday, said one more patient died of COVID-19 and that 2 patients are in critical condition. Among the 11 new cases, Mandera is leading with 4 cases. Purity Museo has that comprehensive report.
The number of reported cases of COVID-19 in the country appears to be spreading to rural counties. Among the 11 new cases reported Monday, only 2 are from Nairobi County.
In the last 24 hours, we have tested 674 samples. Out of these samples, 11 have tested positive for coronavirus disease. And so we have now passed the 200 mark. Our figure stands at 208.
Mandera County produced the highest number of new cases at 4, Mombasa 3, Nairobi 2, with Nakuru and Machakos registering a case each. Kenya now has 9 deaths after 1 more patient succumbed to the disease in Nairobi in the last 24 hours, with 142 active patients, 2 in critical condition.
All the 11 are Kenyans. 4 have a history of travel from the United Arab Emirates. 6 are male, while 5 are female, aged between 1 year and 42 years.
Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe saying Kenya can turn around the situation within a short time if citizens strictly adhere to set guidelines.
We're working hard as a ministry to make sure that we have sufficient capacity in terms of internet so that people can be able to have the connectivity and video conferencing facilities that exist.
Where we are having a lot of challenge in terms of behavior change, in terms of the call for social distance is still in the counties, especially the rural counties.
A total of 2,306 contacts had been monitored by Monday, out of which 1,687 have been discharged, with 619 contacts still being followed.
We have had a few cases of people with special needs, like breastfeeding mothers, people with physical disability, and of course we have taken good care of them like the rest of the other people.
On the issue of burying COVID-19 patients, Kagwe said it was high time Kenyans prepare to the fact that COVID-19 bodies will be disposed in a manner that is not aligned to their cultural beliefs.
I therefore want our people to be mentally prepared and to accept that COVID-19 victim bodies shall be disposed in a manner that protects the living from infections and in accordance with the Ministry of Health burial protocols.
Meanwhile, Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha says parents with students in private schools will have to pay for the online teaching, downplaying fears of interruption of school calendar, saying the main concern of the government at the moment is safety of its citizens.
I have certain scenarios which I shall not divulge to you at this time, because those scenarios also depend on how we are seeing my brother Kagwe proceeding with the coronavirus. We are not going to risk the lives of our children because dead people do not take exams.
According to the Ministry of Health, the number of infections in the country are set to be lower than the projected modeling of 10,000 by the end of this month, thanks to Kenyans who have opted to adhere to set guidelines of COVID-19 prevention. Purity Museo, Channel 1 News, Nairobi.
And elsewhere, the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union say there is an urgent need of 1,000 health workers to deal with the current health crisis in the country. The union says to help in the war against the coronavirus pandemic, the government should reduce the recruitment period of the new health workers from the advertised 14 days to 7 to help reinvigorate the current workforce already strained in dealing with the pandemic.
Kenya has witnessed an increase on coronavirus confirmed cases since it reported its first victim on March 13th.
For the first time in a day,
the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union says with the number showing an upward curve, the country is staring at a health crisis in a sector that was already ailing.
Out of employment, 1, and 2, they need to be trained and be ready to handle COVID-19. Kenyatta University Teaching and Referral Hospitals needs at least 1,000 workers and 290 doctors to work, because it is now what we can rightfully say the designated COVID-19 hospital.
After COVID-19, you never know when we shall have another COVID-related disease or a pandemic. So we need to be prepared all the time.
The union says as a first measure, counties should move and reinstate all health officers sacked to help deal with the situation.
This is not a time to be insensitive to those citizens in Kirinyaga who need reassurance that they have health workers to help them. Taita Taveta County has withheld emergency call allowance and risk allowance for the doctors since November 2019.
The Council of Governors saying healthcare is devolved, it decides to employ. The Public Service Commission saying we've been given mandate by the President, we have the money to employ. That confusion can easily be solved by creation of Health Services Commission.
The union further wants health workers to be exempted from taxes for a period of 1 year in a move aimed at motivating the practitioners. It also wants the government to adequately equip health workers in the front line with protective gears and create separate testing centers and accommodation facilities for health workers to avoid having them mingle with their families.
If the supermarkets can give their employees N95 face shield, what of the frontline workers who are exposed to infections daily?
Irene Mchuma Odim, Channel 1.
And still on the corona scourge, health workers' professional bodies across the country have faulted the Salaries and Remuneration Commission for opposing Machakos Governor Alfred Mutua's proposal to give health workers in his county special allowances. Kenya Health Professional Society and the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union say SRC should instead embrace the plan and regulate allowances for the benefit of all health workers countrywide.
The Salaries and Remuneration Commission's circular dated 9th of April raising concern on the payment of special allowances to health workers by county governments continues to elicit reactions from a section of health stakeholders. The Kenya Health Professional Society and Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Union have come out in support of Machakos County Governor Alfred Mutua, saying health workers should be motivated in recognition of their role in the fight against coronavirus.
The SRC statement on the non-payment of special allowance is not only illegal, but unconstitutional. As our Constitution of Kenya 2010 recognizes fair labor practices, which includes motivation of staff through fair remunerations.
The health workers' representatives expressed concerns that health workers, especially first responders, are at high risk of infection and should be adequately compensated in light of the economic harsh times currently experienced globally.
For SRC, this is not the time to be insensitive to workers. These workers are exposed. It's a matter of life and death for them. Should you get COVID-19 and not recover as a frontline worker, there is no amount of money that will console a family that is bereaved because of COVID-19, especially in the line of duty.
We totally condemn the SRC circular with the strongest terms possible, as it demoralized the health workers and dampening the spirit and morale of frontline health workers who put their life on the line to bring down this invisible monster that shakes the very fabric of our nation.
In its circular, SRC questioned the process followed by the counties in awarding the allowances, citing lack of consultation. In a rejoinder, health workers challenged SRC to come up with a standardized framework for remunerating all health workers countrywide.
What SRC should be doing now and what they should have come out with is a standardized allowance nationally. That is what they should have come up with instead of condemning the Machakos governor. Because the county government of Machakos sat down and they saw the need of motivating the healthcare workers, looking at the risks that the healthcare workers are put in, and they had to motivate them. It may not be enough, but at least they've shown the way how it should be done.
SRC has actually shown us that they can give advisories within hours. They should now give an advisory with immediate effect to pay the emergency call allowances for the doctors working at the Ministry of Health, those working in administrative and policy positions who are currently now on the front line in the quarantine facilities, and doctors working on the Kenya Medical Supplies Authority.
Sentiments echoed by the National Muslim COVID-19 Committee, which also called for motivation of medical practitioners who are in the front line in battling the coronavirus pandemic.
Ikiwa kuna baadhi ya kaunti wanaona kuna umuhimu wa kuwapa motisha wanaofanya katika wizara hii kuhifadhi uhai, tunaomba serikali wakubalie waendelee hivyo, kwa sababu hawa ndio wanaosaidia kuokoa uhai wa watu.
Kamchemenza for Channel 1 News.
And that discussion on health workers, special allowances and perks will be forming part of our discussion tomorrow on News Check. So tune in from 10 a.m. To midnight. From Nairobi, we head to Kiambu, where all 76 culprits arrested over the weekend in Kiambu County flouting curfew and social distancing directives by the government will quarantine for a mandatory 14 days. Kiambu County Commissioner Wilson Wanyaga said the culprits will also bear the quarantine cost, after which they will be taken to court to face charges of flouting rules set by the government.
As the country and the entire globe battles the coronavirus pandemic, 76 people arrested over the weekend in Kiambu making merry will spend the next 14 days in quarantine, after which they will answer to charges of contravening the government's directives of avoiding social distancing. While cautioning residents to adhere to the government's and World Health Organization directives, Kiambu County Commissioner Wilson Wanyaga said besides the arrested revelers, 9 bar operators will have their licenses revoked.
Hawa ambao tumewashika leo, ningependa in future watu kama hawa tuwapeleke forced quarantine, kwa sababu watu ambao hawa keep social distance ni watu hatari kwa jamii. Ukiangalia kule kwa magari utaona kwamba wameketi hata hawana mask, wamerundana ndani ya gari. Kama ni watu wanajijali, kwanza wangekuwa wamevaa mask, wangepata wakiwa na mask. Serikali imesema kwamba usitembee bila mask. Wao hawana mask, wao wanafungua bar, wanafungua mlango wa nyuma, wanafungia watu ndani.
Kiambu County CEC for Administration Mary Riunge said that the county government does not license wines and spirits outlets, and those who are operating are doing so illegally and will be banned from operating their liquor business.
The bars are closed, and all are expected to adhere to the executive order that all bars are closed, and those that will be found opening bars during this period, their licenses will be revoked and they will not be issued with liquor licensing after this period. So it is not only revoked for this period. If you don't comply, it will affect your business, because you will not be allowed to operate liquor business anymore.
A magistrate attached to the Kiambu law courts, together with Embakasi Central Member of Parliament Benjamin Gadhiru Mwangi, are among Kenyans arrested over the weekend for flouting the government's curfew directives. They were arrested on Saturday and Sunday by police officers inside locked bars and private cars in a secluded place drinking alcohol.
From Kiambu, we head to the Busia border town, where 2 Kenya truck drivers have been admitted at the Alupe Sub-County Hospital in Busia County after their temperatures were found to be higher than normal. Malaba Port Manager Evelyn Walela says the 2 will be monitored to ascertain whether they are infected with the novel coronavirus. Walela says there has been an upscale of screening along the Kenya-Uganda border to ensure there is no import or export of the coronavirus.
The recently installed non-contact temperature measurement devices at the Malaba border point have seen the government effectively stem cross-border transmission of the novel coronavirus. 2 long-distance truck drivers are among the latest to be referred to the Busia Isolation Center after exhibiting symptoms of COVID-19.
Tumewapeleka kwanza wapimwe huko, wadhibitishe huko, alafu ndio sasa tutaelezewa kama iko positive, wataanzishwa matibabu.
To ensure efficiency and protection of health workers at the border, the government recently installed the infrared cameras, ensuring smooth screening and arresting of cases at Kenya's points of entry.
Sasa unajua tuna watu wengi ambao wanaingia. Na pia mtu kusimama kupima unapata hiyo ni ya kuchosha. Pia unaweza kimakosa ukaguza mwili wa mtu. Ndiposa serikali imeamua pamoja na Wizara ya Afya kwamba watuletee hiyo ili watu wanapita tu, inakuwa kazi rahisi na pia ime-minimize hiyo kama kungekuwa na cross infection kupitia kwa hiyo thermogun, hiyo imepunguza sasa.
The non-contact temperature measurement devices have hastened the speed of screening at the one-stop border point to ensure smooth movement of essential goods between Kenya and Uganda.
And the National Multi-Agency Command Center on COVID-19 Committee on Monday made impromptu visits to various roadblocks facilities erected in the 4 counties where movement of people and vehicles have been restricted. In Nairobi, the team led by Lieutenant Colonel Kilel toured the Rironi roadblock facility in Limuru to ensure absolute compliance of standard operating procedures on manning roadblocks. The development coming even as a spot check by KBC Channel 1 reveals that majority of short-distance commuters are still struggling to comply with the measures by the government to ban movement into and out of Nairobi.
1 week after the implementation of the directive by President Uhuru Kenyatta to ban movements of people and vehicles into and out of Nairobi Metropolitan, a spot check by KBC Channel 1 revealed that many short-distance commuters are reluctant to comply with the measures.
Nimekuja na gari mpaka hapa kwenye bonde ya Rironi. Alafu sasa nafuka alafu ili niweze kuendelea na safari yangu.
At the roadblock in Limuru, a group of multi-agency team led by Area Police Commander Ellen Wanjiku were keen to ensure that only authorized vehicles and persons were allowed to pass through the roadblock.
When they come here, we have to check on where they are going, whether they have any authorization letter, and if you have one, you have to take your temperature. And if your temperature is okay, we'll let you proceed.
Michael Kimani, a small-scale businessman, is among tens of commuters who are forced to walk long distance due to limitation of public transport.
Naona kila mtu ako katika harakati ya kujikinga. Na usafi unaendelea sawa, kila mahali iko usafi, iko maji, iko sabuni, iko sanitizer. Na mambo inaendelea kisawasawa katika nchi ya Kenya.
Tunasafirisha mwili. Kwa hivyo mimi naweza unga mkono hivyo venye mnafanya. Serikali inafanya ni mzuri sababu hata kwa sisi wenyewe at least tunakuwa na usalama wetu.
Also present were members of the National Multi-Agency Command Center team who are on a fact-finding assessment on compliance on the government directive. Led by Lieutenant Colonel Kilel, the team toured the Rironi roadblock facility in Limuru and guided them on the standard operating procedures on manning roadblocks.
A number of us have been dispatched from the center to various roadblocks within Nairobi. As you know, Nairobi is under lockdown or shutdown, and therefore we are here to monitor what is happening on the ground.
The team is currently on a fact-finding assessment on cessation of movement in and out of counties, including Nairobi Metropolitan, that have been put on lockdown to ensure that only exempted commodities are being cleared for passage. It is tasked with the responsibility of rapidly establishing coordination to deliver strategic, technical, and operational support through existing mechanisms and partnerships across the country through a program dubbed Kinga Corona. Ben Chumba, reporting for Channel 1 News.
And residents living along the Kwale-Mombasa cut line are now appealing to the government to supply them with relief food and necessities during the 21 days partial lockdown. The locals claim the cut line has mainly disenfranchised those in Kwale side as they cannot cross over to Mombasa to run their daily errands. Njue Karisa with that story.
At the Shika Adabu roadblock in Likoni, we meet Sheikh Tamrini, one of the village elders in this village. Just like his residency, most households here are built in a village ostensibly separating Mombasa and Kwale counties. For Tamrini, things have not been the same since the government instituted a lockdown 6 days ago, as he cannot cross over to Mombasa.
Mipaka imewekwa, lakini bado kuna watu ambao wanaingiliana. Kwa hivyo kuna kuwa na changamoto katika upande wa huduma, ikiwemo hayo maduka, maji na hospitali na mengineyo.
For Mzee Sabili, it is even harder, with one of his wife's house being in Mombasa County. Police on Monday restricting his movement across his homestead, a move he says has devastated him and curtailed him many obligations.
Tunakuonewa sisi, hatupati chochote hapa, tunaishi na dhiki, hatuna raha yote ile ambayo tunaishi nayo hapa. Maki hatuna makazi. Watoto wetu wako wanauzurura tu. Kazi yao kushika watu tu wakaibia. Isaidia kama ni kusaidia pesa na watoto na wazee na chakula, pia walete chakula.
The survival of locals in the village have been border operators who have been sneaking them to cross over through unmanned routes, but now police are closing in.
Pamoja na maradhi ama na lockdown iliyopo, maisha lazima kila siku yaendelee. Kuna wale watu ambao wanafanya kazi kutoka hatua moja kwenda sehemu nyingine, hawa lazima wabebwe na pikipiki. Ukizingatia ndio usafiri ambao sasa hivi ulioko, kwa sababu matatu hakuna.
For the residents in this area, playing cat and mouse game with security officers is the order of the day, as they have to survive.
Nina maka, sijui nitakwenda na njia gani, na nyumbani nina majukumu, na watu wangoja kula. Hakuna baba, hakuna mama, wote wagonjwa, mimi ndio tegemeo.
Security kiwa hapa, basi tuwe free, maana tuwezi jua, uende pengine labda kuna mtu ana ujauzito, unataka kwenda Mombasa County, ndio kwenye huduma ambao waweza pata kwa uwepesi na ndio amezuiliwa. Lazima tesu chungu akute mimi mwananchi ama sio mwenye nchi.
Pendekezo ni kwamba kwanza serikali iweze kuangalia wananchi katika mambo muhimu, ikiwemo vyakula, kwa sababu utakapomwambia mtu kwamba abakie nyumbani kwa siku 21 na ikiwa hana chakula, moja kwa moja ni kwamba unamwambia afe na njaa badala ya kufa na corona.
Matuga OCPD Francis Nguli says security officers have sealed many undocumented routes to ensure the restricted movement directive is in force.
Tuko na njia za mikato mbili, na ni mzuri yaeleweke kwamba hiyo njia ya mikato tumeweza kuzuia. Njia moja ni ile barabara yetu ya kuelekea Matuga ambayo iko pale mbele, na ingine ni ile ambayo inaelekea upande wa Ngombeni ikienda Shell Beach upande wa Likoni. Tuligundua kwamba watu bado wanapita huko. Tumeweza kupeleka maafisa wetu wa polisi, kwa hivyo hakuna haja kupita huko because utapatana na maafisa wa polisi na utarudishwa tu, utarudi mahali ambao na tutakamata wewe.
Nguli is warning locals to be mindful of their health rather than engaging police in running battles. Juni Karisa from Mombasa County.
You are watching Channel 1 News at about 25 minutes past the hour. When we come back, more news and in regards to the coronavirus, and an interesting one. You may have heard about internet this, internet that, and especially now that you are supposed to be indoors. Well, have you heard of an internet wedding right here in Kenya? Where are we coming with that report? But just a quick one is that comment suggestions are welcomed, especially on this Easter Monday. My young fan, Mike Jr. Getaweru, watching from Kahawa Sukari, thanks so much for keeping it locked. We'll be right back with more news, including sports.
Next on.
Maumivu ya kichwa chako na dalili nyingine zote zinasababishwa na kuelemewa kwake. Ni lazima ufanywe upasuaji, lakini eneo la uvimbe wako ni la kipekee, lipo karibu na mshipa. Sasa kutokana na teknolojia ni vigumu sana kufanikiwa kuondoa.
Leo mama alipika chakula kwa ajili ya siku yako ya kuzaliwa.
Jamani, sio vyote vingi vilipikwa na nchi jao. Uko wapi?
Kwa hiyo ina maana umekubali?
Next on Corner.
Pamela is applying for work.
Why are you sabotaging her?
Well, we want her in our camp. She's the one who's going to get us that folder and much more.
going to get to the bottom of this.
If they were killed and you go on asking questions, you're in serious danger.
I was not born yesterday.
I'd love to be a part of that.
You, if you ever do this behind my back, I'll ban you for 1 month.
The old job is still available. I know how much you enjoyed it.
Welcome back. This is Channel 1 News Hour. Straight to the news. The coronavirus pandemic has drastically changed burial rituals in the country. Following the government directive on social distancing and public gathering, the number of people allowed to attend funerals and duration of the ceremony have been drastically reduced. Muslims who are known to plan and conduct burials hours after a death have also been forced to review their rituals in light of the current situation. Sulaiman Yeri with that report.
Muslims will henceforth not perform pre-burial cleansing rituals due to the risk of spreading the coronavirus. The National Muslim COVID-19 Committee is calling on Muslims to report all cases of faithful who succumb to the disease to the Ministry of Health so as to curb the spread of coronavirus.
One is the cleaning of the body, and the second one is to shroud the body in a designed sheet or clothing. And the third one is to pray for the dead body. And finally, the fourth one is to bury. We will now only possibly pray for the dead on the graveside or pray in absentia of the body. This is all to avoid the infection.
The committee has set a special team of volunteers in Nairobi, Mombasa, Bungoma, Nakuru and Eldoret to handle burials of victims of coronavirus.
We have volunteers who are already trained, and they will be supporting this process when it occurs, definitely with the assistance of the government.
The Muslim leaders at the same time urged the government to lift the ban on food distribution, saying it will hinder the Muslim tradition of distributing food to the less fortunate during the holy month of Ramadan, which begins in 2 weeks' time.
We implore on the government to provide special considerations to Muslims to feed the less fortunate during the forthcoming month of Ramadan.
Sulaiman Yeri, Channel 1 News.
Now, Nairobi town was a shell of itself on Easter Monday as Nairobians kept off the central business district in a city that is currently on a partial lockdown due to the coronavirus pandemic. The city was, however, characterized by nearly empty streets, silent parks and closed businesses. Betty Kiptum with the details of the new normal.
Face masks, the commodity on everyone's face, at least if you are in public. Sarah Riziki is a vendor in Nairobi CBD selling masks. This is her latest venture after the COVID-19 pandemic rendered her jobless in Kenya way before the first case was reported locally. She worked with a recruitment agency that connected locals with jobs in Asia, Middle East and Europe. But when flights were grounded in these regions, her job vanished.
Overseas walifunga before us. So for us, we started the problems since January, I think. So from January, we didn't get our salaries, we didn't get anything. We were just like that because nothing was coming in or going out.
Riziki has been selling the masks for a month now and says these are hard times for a normal Kenyan family.
What you get here, it's only few. Na fare nayo iko juu sana. So ukiangalia ni kama tu kazi ya wana, unaweza sema hivyo. Ukule tu breakfast, maybe lunch you miss and you eat supper and that's all. Na nyumba pia huripi juu haiwezi lipia wewe nyumba. Unajaribu kugawanisha but haifiki.
a challenge shared by border operators who say their income has plummeted since the start of the stay-at-home call.
Tunaumia sana kama kazi. Mimi nikuja saa 11, bado sijabeba hata mtu hata mmoja. Tunashindwa leo watu wangu watakula nini?
Sisi tumekuja hapa hii base yetu, ni kulala tu na mastori. Kuna kitu from morning to saa hii, hata sijapata hata 10 bob, sijaweka kwa mfuko.
Lalo unajua nangoja kama leo tarehe 13. Mimi nilipewa notice tarehe 5 ikapita, nasema isipite 10. Kama jana ilishinda hapa town nikabeba mtu mmoja 100. Hiyo mimi juu utaweka fuel ama utaenda ukule, unajua.
In previous years, Easter Monday would have families flocking the town to share a moment, having the children just wear beautiful things, share a meal in an eatery, but 2020 Easter Monday is different. They are met with closed doors on most eateries. Those that are open, they can only do takeaways. Most shops are closed and most streets almost empty. Locked business premises are a clear indication of the shocks the economy is suffering due to the pandemic. Luna Park looks like it is suffering an apocalypse. On holidays, this park is normally filled with kids enjoying the festivities. This Easter Monday, however, is a different story.
It's virtually empty and there's nothing going on. And we have been this way for the last 3 weeks.
Gerald Kimari, Luna Park's proprietor, urging the government to cushion small businesses which will bear the greatest brunt of the economic fall.
The debts are piling up, bills are piling up, the salaries have not been paid. So even if you are to start like tomorrow, you see, you need a long time for the business to be reactivated and to start making profit.
The carousels here at Luna Park have ground to a halt. With it, the revenue as well as the jobs of the employees who are working here have also come to a standstill. It is the hope of the would-be riders of these carousels that they come back roaring to life after the COVID-19 pandemic. Betty Kiptum, Channel 1 News.
Thanks for that report, and indeed we will overcome. Now listen to this. Kennedy Muredi and his wife Pauline held their wedding in Nairobi while their families congregated together with friends in Kirinyaga County to follow proceedings online. As Fiona Shuru reports, the couple and their families had been planning the wedding since February, and everything was ready only for the government to order cessation of movement into and out the Nairobi metropolitan area to contain spread of the coronavirus.
Monday, April the 13th, 2020 was a memorable day for Julius Kamau and Margaret Wamweru. The couple woke up very early to prepare for the arrival of about 20 family members and close friends.
In the presence of God and you all,
they would all witness via social media as Kamau's firstborn son, Kennedy Muredi, was joined in holy matrimony with his fiancée, Pauline.
Nimefurahi sana. Tumekuwa na matarajio ya harusi kubwa ya kijana yangu, yule firstborn wetu. Na kwa vile mambo yalikuwa katika hii mambo yalikuwa kwa nchi haikufanyika vile tulikuwa tunatarajia.
Because of the current situation, the extended family could not get approval to attend the physical wedding in Nairobi. They therefore stayed put in Kirinyaga County, where tea was served as they waited for the ceremony in Nairobi to start.
Hapo awali tulikuwa tumepanga siku ya hii harusi tutaenda tukiwa watu wengi sana, lakini kwa vile mambo yamekuwa ya corona hatukuwa tukiweza kuenda. Kwa hivyo tumekubali hivyo ilivyo, sababu sio mapenzi yetu, sio mapenzi ya marafiki zetu. Wote tulikuwa tukitaka tuende huko veko tusherekee hapo. Lakini tunatarajia ya kwamba hii corona ikiisha tutawaita marafiki wetu wakiwa mbali na wakiwa hapo karibu ili tusherekee pamoja.
A laptop was strategically placed in full view of the group, and those who felt inclined to, especially younger family members, followed the proceedings on their handheld devices.
Na hata kama hatukuenda, bado tunajitayarisha vile tutaweza kupatia kijana yetu vipawa, kwa hatuwezi kumwachilia hivyo ati kwa sababu hatukuenda. Still tuko na vipawa zake.
The family hopes to hold a proper celebration when the situation returns to normal. Fiona Shuru for Channel 1.
Interesting, we wish them all the best. Now, switching gears, the Energy and Regulatory Commission is on the spot for not passing the benefit of lower crude oil prices in the world to motorists. Motorists are lamenting that Kenyans are paying more at the pump, yet the international fuel prices have dropped by at least 20%, which they say should be enjoyed in Kenya.
The Energy Regulatory Commission is expected to announce the April to May price reviews on pump prices Tuesday. This as matatu and bodaboda operators cry foul over high prices of the commodity, yet the international prices have dropped drastically.
Na vile tunabeba watu 8 hiyo mafuta hairudi. Usai hata unaweza pata sasa tunaweka giri moja na tulikuwa tunaweka 35,500.
Walikuwa wanaenda skuli 5 na saa hii wanaenda skuli 3.
Players in the industry say the situation is worsening given the new directive of reduced passengers, and something should be done to cushion their business.
Abiria wetu msichukulia tunawabeba na bei kali. Hapana, ni genye mambo iko na tuelewe si wote.
Haikuja kama 70 hivi. Vile wamekata wadhi kwa basi. Kama kwenye biashara nyingine hata hiyo wamefanya half price.
Global oil prices plunged after Saudi Arabia and Russia disagreed as to whether to cut output to support the coronavirus-ravaged energy sector. Irene Mchuma Odim, Channel 1.
And anxiety has gripped residents of Mwingi town following the sudden death of a 55-year-old man in the area. Justus Kavindu is said to have collapsed and died after complaining of chest pain and difficulty in breathing. These and more stories in news making headlines in the counties.
The lifeless body of Justus Kavindu lies on the ground under one of the business stalls in Mwingi town. Eyewitnesses say Justus Kavindu collapsed a few minutes earlier after complaining of chest pains and difficulty in breathing.
Alikuja akiwa anaongea na msichana yake kupika hapo, kwa hiyo kiasi ndio aliangukia hapo, lakini alisema anasikia kifua tu.
In Kilifi, residents of Maweni settlement scheme have engaged police in a running battle over a disputed piece of land. Locals claim the developer is laying claim to the 50-acre piece of land, which is a part of 161 acres allocated to thousands of families by the government in 2017. They now want the government to intervene and save them the agony. Still in Kilifi, over 10,000 farmers will benefit from free farm inputs during this planting season through the county government COVID-19 emergency relief program. The intervention will assist farmers who cannot buy seedlings after markets were closed to contain the spread of coronavirus. Elsewhere in Kisii County, a group of clergy have condemned the isolation of Africans in China, terming the act racial discrimination, and petitioned their governments to immediately intervene. The clergy claims what is happening to Africans is even worse than the COVID-19 disease ravaging the globe.
So the government should quickly initiate a process of bringing back our citizens so they may enjoy the freedom of our country.
Meanwhile, Murang'a County government has embarked on a construction of a 35-bed capacity modern ICU facility to cater for patients. Area governor says that the construction of the ICU will only take 21 days before fixing of the machines that have already been produced starts.
At the very worst, this disease is likely to cause some fatalities, and we must ruthlessly, proactively prevent that. That's why we have said as a county, we've started making a modern, new ICU unit.
Finally, in Migori County, African Legion Maria Pope Romanas Ongombe has died at the age of 96. The octogenarian clergy died at his home in Bwembu, Migori County, and his body has been transferred to St. Joseph Mission Hospital morgue within Migori town. Yusuf Farah, Channel 1 News.
Next on.
Maumivu ya kichwa chako na dalili nyingine zote zinasababishwa na kuelemewa kwake. Ni lazima ufanywe upasuaji, lakini eneo la uvimbe wako ni la kipekee, lipo karibu na mshipa. Sasa kutokana na teknolojia ni vigumu sana kufanikiwa kuondoa.
Leo mama alipika chakula kwa ajili ya siku yako ya kuzaliwa.
Jamani, sio vyote, vingi vilipikwa na nchi jao. Kuwapi?
Kwa hiyo ina maana umekubali?
Next on Corner.
Miller is applying for work.
Why are you sabotaging her?
Well, we want her in our camp. She's the one who's going to get us that folder and much more.
Going to get to the bottom of this. If they were killed and you go on asking questions, you're in serious danger. I was not born yesterday.
I'd love to be a part of that.
You, if you ever do this behind my back, I'll ban you for 1 month.
The old job is still available. I know how much you enjoyed it.
Tonight on KBC Channel 1.
Every Monday evening, we take you back where the action happened.
We cheer up your Monday blues. From celebrity buzz,
music,
fashion.
Remember what they say, if you did not see it on Grapevine, then it most probably
it never happened.
And to sports news now, and the National Super League NSL side Kibera Black Stars midfielder William Oricho has urged local-based footballers to look for alternative means of making their ends meet, especially now when all leagues have been suspended due to the coronavirus pandemic. The 21-year-old heightened his training at home.
21-year-old William Oricho, who played for Kenyan Premier League sides Vihiga United and Chemelil Sugar before joining National Super League side Kibera Black Stars, has said that it has been a difficult moment for footballers in the country since league action was suspended due to the coronavirus, making it hard for them to get their daily bread. However, Oricho, who has intensified his training from home, has urged players to look for alternative means of making their ends meet.
Naweza sema serikali pia kama inaweza kuja kusaidia kwa wachezaji wale wanaumia, because most of the players maybe walikuwa wanategemea hiyo kucheza game allowance, maybe training allowance, na pia some of the teams hawapatiani mshahara, so unapata sasa hakuna kitu inaendelea in terms of football ama in terms of games. Unapata imeaffect watu wengi sana, not only us here in Kenya but hata pia world mzima tumeaffectika. So mimi naweza sema pia imekuwa wakati mgumu, as long as ni tough moments, but tunafaa tuwe strong, na kitu muhimu sana tujikusanye tu, turudi kwa Mwenyezi Mungu, tuombe sana, maana this is not normal. Mambo yamekuwa mbaya, na to stay too safe, kila kitu kitakuwa poa, we shall overcome it inshallah.
Kibera Black Stars currently are on position 16 in the National Super League table with 21 points from 26 matches. The date for the resumption of the league is still unknown as the whole world continues to fight the spread of the coronavirus. Frederick Muki for Channel 1 Sports.
And Juventus superstar Cristiano Ronaldo has been slammed for breaking the coronavirus lockdown rules after he was snapped playing football in Mandela, Portugal. Ronaldo has been in the forefront in urging people to stay home as medics work to find a solution in his native Portugal. The Portuguese superstar flew home last month to avoid the outbreak of the virus in Italy, where Juventus season is suspended until further notice. England, Tottenham Hotspur have no intention of letting striker Harry Kane leave the club and will not sell to a domestic rival. Kane, 26, signed a 6-year contract with Spurs in June of 2018. Last month, he said he would not stay at the North London club just for the sake of it. And there are reports chairman Daniel Levy would be open to selling him for about £200 million. Manchester United are long-time admirers of the England captain. Tottenham were on course, the first Premier League club to follow staff in response to the coronavirus pandemic. There are suggestions that because of financial worries, Levy would sanction Kane's sale if the fee was in the region of the world's record £200 million. Paris Saint-Germain paid Barcelona to sign Brazil forward Neymar in 2017. And on that note, we wrap up tonight's edition of KBC Channel 1 News Hour. And of course, remember to keep safe, to keep the distance, and of course, to keep hope alive. I'm Ben Troy. Lucy Maura has been our sign language interpreter for today. We do this again tomorrow. Have a good night.
Vera Beauty College.
Vera Beauty and Fashion College, with branches in Nairobi, Eldoret, Thika and Meru. Did you know that we are a TVET approved institution? We offer courses in fashion design, interior design in soft furnishing, event decoration, flower arrangement, event planning, hairdressing, barbering and dreadlocks, beauty therapy, makeup, nail technology, spa massages, teaching skills, TOT, solo business management, and many more. Register now and visit our website on www.verabeautycollege.com. You can also call on 0725 9